Jessii Vee, and as you can see, I have a new background behind me. This one is definitely darker and spookier, a lot more my vibe. But I'm kind of laughing because it's supposed to be like a tree, right? Here's the tree trunk, but it kind of looks like I have like antlers coming out of my head, which wasn't intentional. But I love this design because you can see the tree roots coming out the side with the leaves, and like I just love it. I know it's dark, but I love it. It's so funny because I see comments from you guys all the time saying that my backgrounds are always so bright and happy, but my content is always so dark and scary. I know, I like opposites. All right, so because I have a new backdrop behind me, that means I'm going to be announcing the winner of last month's. That contest was on Instagram, and the winner is Jordan Ferguson, and she sent me some really cool like orange and red emojis, which reminds me of Halloween, and I love it. And if you guys want to win this new awesome, creepy, dark background behind me, all you have to do is be subscribed to this channel, so my Jessii Vee channel, turn on your notification bell, and the second thing you have to do is actually sort of a new thing. I have actually created a new Jessii Vee merch account on Instagram, and I'm going to be posting all the new awesome stuff we have on our website over on that Instagram account. So the second part of this contest is to go over there, follow the account, and DM me what your favorite season is. For me personally, it's fall and winter. I love them. And that's all you have to do to be entered, and I will be announcing the winner in a few weeks. Alright, so as you can tell by the title of this video, today's video is about the Pollock twins. Now, what I'm about to tell you is probably the craziest story that I've ever heard in my life. It's dark, it's twisted, it's spooky, it's unbelievable, and if you've never heard about the Pollock twins, you're in for a treat. Now, before I talk about them, I just want to say that whenever I hear someone talk about like creepy twins, instantly I think about the twins from The Shining. I mean, I've grown up watching that movie, and that hallway scene always scared me as a kid. Like, how eerie would it be to be walking around an empty hotel and you turn a corner just to see them standing there in matching blue dresses just staring at you. And they're always like, "Come play with us, Danny." I don't know, that movie is one of my favorites. I love to watch it around Halloween. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. Those twins will give you nightmares. Anyways, moving that thought aside, the story of the Pollock twins is not fictional. In fact, it's very real and very dark and very tragic as well. So let's start the story from the very beginning, which is usually where you start stories. The strange story begins in the quaint and quiet town of Hexham in Northumberland, England. There was this husband and wife named John and Florence Pollock, and they also had two daughters. One daughter was named Joanna, who was 11, and the other was Jacqueline, who was 6. Now, they were a very happy family. They were super well off. They had this successful grocery and milk delivery business, so they were making a lot of money off that. And these two sisters were inseparable. They were best friends. The whole family was just happy. Basically, things couldn't have been better. They had this idyllic life, and it was perfect. But then on May 7th, 1957, something very tragic happened. The two girls were on their way to church with a friend of theirs when they were hit by a car driven by a local woman. Basically, this woman had taken an overdose of all this medication, so she was driving erratically and hit their car. The two Pollock children were killed instantly in the accident. People say that when this car crashed into them, the two girls literally went flying through the air. And because this was such a horrible accident, it was all over the news and printed everywhere in the newspapers. People were absolutely devastated by hearing about this, especially because pretty much everyone in the town knew of this family and knew of these kids. And the two parents were obviously so upset about the news of their children. They both went into this horrible depression, and then something weird started happening with the father. The father, whose name was John, reported having these constant visions. He was having these visions that his two daughters would be brought back to him in the form of twins. So they would be pretty much reborn, reincarnated. So he thought he was literally seeing the future. So he went to his wife, told her all about these visions, and she did not believe him. In fact, she was super angry that he would be talking to her this way because she was grieving. But he was convinced that these two girls would be reborn in the form of twins in the future. And because his wife did not believe him, they literally almost got divorced over this argument. And I mean, I don't blame the wife. Imagine someone dies in your family and like someone's like, "Oh, I have a vision, they're gonna come back to us." It's really hard to hear that while you're grieving. here's where the story takes a huge turn. The wife, Florence, became pregnant the following year. The pregnancy was unexpected, and John kept telling her that it was gonna be twins just like he had in his vision. But they went to the doctor to check on the pregnancy, and the doctor said no, it would only be one child. They could only hear one heartbeat. On the ultrasounds, it literally looked like just one child. But when it came time for her to deliver the baby, 2 babies came out as twins. It baffled the doctors, it baffled Florence, and basically John was like, see, I had this vision and it came true. So they named these twins Jillian and Jennifer. So these 2 girls were literally considered to be miracles. And John truly believed that it was their dead daughters that had come back again. Okay, so this story continues to get spooky because let's talk about the similarities between these 2 twins and the sisters that passed away. They had the exact same markings, scars, and birthmarks on their bodies as the sisters who had passed away. And when I say the exact same, I mean literally identical. Identical spots, identical shapes, everything was the same. One of the twins even had this long white scar over her forehead where Jacqueline had had this bicycle accident. And Jacqueline was one of the sisters who passed away, so how would this new twin have the exact same scar as her? Now, as these twins started growing up, they started having these memories that were really spooking people. As soon as they were old enough to talk, the twins began asking for specific toys that Joanna and Jacqueline had owned. And what was spooky was that these parents had put all of these toys in boxes in the attic after their kids had passed away because they didn't want to see them anymore. But somehow these twins knew these toys existed and could even call each doll by their name. When they brought these old toys down from the attic, the twins instantly recognized them. They each picked which toys they thought used to belong to them, and they were correct. They even said they were Santa's gifts, which in fact they were, and how would they know all of those things? Even more strange was that the 2 twins liked the same foods that Joanna and Jacqueline had liked. They had the same personalities, the same mannerisms, the same body builds. They liked the same games. They would even point out to scars on their bodies and say how they got them, and it would be the same way that Joanna and Jacqueline had gotten them. They were even said to be terrified of passing cars to the point that it was difficult to even get them to cross the street. Now, this next part really freaks me out. Florence, who was the mother, actually overheard these twins talking in their bedroom about how they died in a car crash. And they were going into details that literally they would never have known because no one had talked to them about the accident that happened to their sisters who passed away. When the family took a trip back to Hexham, the twins knew their way around and could accurately point out landmarks by name and the school they remembered attending. And they never attended that school. Joanna and Jacqueline attended that school. So years passed and these twins got a lot older, got into their teens, eventually grew up into adulthood, and slowly the memories of these twins' past lives started to fade away and they stopped remembering all these crazy details. But even though they're now in their 50s, every so often they'll have dreams of their past lives, dreams about actually being Joanna and Jacqueline. So this whole story is very crazy to me, and I mean, it's baffled scientists, it's baffled doctors, because how can you literally have the same scars and birthmarks as your sisters who had passed away years prior? And how do you remember things that you've never been told before? And listen, I've never personally believed in reincarnation. I know a lot of people do, and that's cool, but this story actually has opened my eyes, and I mean, all the details are nuts. So one theory is that yes, they were reincarnated. And the other theory is that maybe these twins were just influenced by their parents. I mean, their parents really wanted to believe that these were their daughters who had come back from the car accident. So maybe they like put that energy and vibes and emotions onto their new twins, so the twins actually started to believe that that's who they were. I mean, if you grew up and your parents were convinced you were a horse, you'd probably probably start believing that too, you know what I mean? Because you're getting all of that like indication from your parents. So do you guys think they were just influenced to believe they were reincarnated, or do you think they actually were? Comment down below. And I hope this story wasn't too confusing. I know there's a lot going on with the old sisters and the new twins, and it's a little bit confusing. And if you guys want to read more on this, there's so much information and so much more details online. But if you like me doing these sort of mystery videos on real life events, definitely give this video a thumbs up and let me know. And if you would like to win this background behind me, don't forget to go follow the new Instagram account called Jessii Vee Merch. And yeah, I hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!